The First Minister is no doubt familiar with the aphorism that all political lives end in failure unless cut off at midstream at a happy juncture. Is the First Minister's political career still in midstream, and is this a happy juncture?
Well, I think the leader of UKIP is an example of life after death in politics. Although I'm not sure what kind of political life it is for him. No, I mean, from my perspective, I've outlined a timetable. I think it's important the country has continuity, and it's important, of course, that everything is in place to prepare for my successor, whoever that might be.
Well, we shall miss him when he's gone, and I want to move on now to... I don't know what the First Minister's long-term objectives are and whether he plans to stand for the Assembly in the next Assembly elections, and therefore the extent to which he retains an interest in whether we expand the size of this institution or not. The Assembly Commission has embarked upon a consultation exercise, the results of which have not yet been made public, but nobody has actually gauged the feeling amongst the public in general, as far as I'm aware. So UKIP has like a gap. We've done an opinion poll which has been carried out by Opinion Research, a respected market research company. And we asked the public, do you support an increase in Assembly members at the National Assembly for Wales from 60 to either 80 or 90? Only 32% of respondents were in favour of an increase, 42% and 26% don't know. Does the First Minister think it right that we should proceed with this exercise without carrying the public with us?
Well, we shall see what happens at the next election in terms of whether UKIP are correct in their analysis of public opinion. If he wishes to know my plans post-2021, he is welcome to look to join the Labour Party and attend the General Management Committee of the next constituency Labour Party, and I'm sure he will be enlightened as a result of that. Can I say it's hugely important this debate is a sensible one and not one driven by what is seen as political expediency. I have been in this Assembly since 1999. I confess I only spent just over a year on the back benches, but I do know that there is immense pressure and strain on backbenchers of all parties, because we have moved on from being what was in effect a kind of administrative body. I mean, I remember standing here and introducing on the old building, introducing the potatoes originating in Egypt order and the undersized whiting order, and we used to debate them. The level of scrutiny was nothing like as deep as it necessarily is now, and that has to be reflected not just in the working practices of members, but in the numbers of members, because we have proceeded far beyond where we were in 1999, and a sensible debate has to be had as to what the correct number of AMs is. I notice that Northern Ireland, with a population just over half that of Wales, has 109. Scotland has 129. We must look sensibly and carefully at what the right number is for the Assembly.
Well, I hear what the First Minister says, that we're all overworked, but I'm not sure that that's going to strike much of a chord with the general public. Before the Assembly was set up, of course, there was a referendum, and before the Assembly's powers were increased, there was a referendum in 2011. Why should we not have a referendum on whether to expand the size of the Assembly on this occasion?
Well, the member is talking about fundamental constitutional changes. I don't believe this is one. I think it's perfectly possible for parties to examine this and take their case to the people of Wales through an election, if that's what it takes. But certainly, we must be careful about this. I mean, it's never going to be popular to say to people, let's have more politicians. Let's all accept that. But I think we have to counter that by saying to people we have to have the right number of people to do the job properly. It's in nobody's interests to have Assembly members in a position where they may not be able in the future to scrutinise in the way that they would want to, and that is a situation that we need to avoid by looking at the numbers that will be in this body in years to come.